I suffer from a strange condition where everything I say is wrong, and what's worse, I can't control it. My father is into stock trading, and he was wondering which stock to buy. Without thinking, I blurted out, HLOA, Jin Chi Lin, Fu Long Ma, Chu Chuan Du, 7 wolves, 8 horses. My father was very excited. Great, I won't buy any of the stocks you just mentioned. Sure enough, the next day, all the stocks I mentioned plummeted, while those I didn't talk about soared. My father made a fortune. I chose the son-in-law, the beloved child, and asked my nephew to help his sister. Out of these 3, who would rise in status and wealth? My mouth said the first and third ones. My father immediately stood up, choose the second one. Less than 2 months later, my aunt arranged a marriage for my cousin. Not long after their wedding, on the day I could predict the opposite, my brother-in-law's appointment letter was announced. Due to this strange, predictable illness, my parents decided to turn me over to the state. I suffer from a bizarre condition where everything I say is wrong, and I can't control it. The first time this illness was discovered was in my senior year of high school. In class, the teacher asked my desk mate which answer they chose for question number 4. Without thinking, I blurted out, A, B, C. My friend looked confused and said, I chose D, correct answer, please sit down. My friend lightly nudged me. You're annoying, lucky I'm quick-witted, I almost didn't understand what you meant. What? What did I mean? At first, I didn't realize just how special my mouth was. After all, everyone says the wrong thing sometimes, right? By my freshman year of college, I secretly had a crush on a top student in my department. The way he walked, stood, sat, it made me find him increasingly attractive. One day, he kneeled in front of us, holding 99 roses in his hand. My roommate, Fong Fong, smiled brightly and shyly accepted them. After the top student left, Fong Fong whispered to me, Xiao Xiao, which hotel near the school is clean and safe? You're in such a hurry? Xiao Xiao, come on, tell me. Which hotel is the cleanest and best? The top student wanted to talk to me all night, and I blurted out, Yin Hai, Yi Long, Ling Long Yuan. As a result, that night, a nearby hotel reported a positive case, and all 3 hotels were sealed off. I looked at Fong Feng's empty bed, my voice trembling. Which hotels are you talking about? My roommate held her phone, Yin Hai, Yi Long, Ling Long Yuan. Xiao Xiao, I heard that you recommended these hotels to Fong Fong. You're really good at this, quick and efficient. I said. I didn't mean to, do you believe me? I was on the verge of crying. Why is it that when I speak good things, it doesn't work, but when I say bad things, it's spot on? I didn't want to hurt anyone. How would I know my mouth has this power? When I returned home for the weekend, my father was fiddling with his stocks, wondering which stock to buy. I blurted out. HLOA Jin Chi Lin. Fu Long Ma Chuan Chuan, 7 wolves, 8 horses. My father waved his hand. All right, just buy a bit of each. Suddenly, I had a premonition and grabbed the phone. Wait, Dad, except for the stocks I just mentioned, you can buy anything else. My father was half skeptical but eventually listened to me. The next day, the stocks my father bought skyrocketed, and his stagnant capital, which had been stuck for years, finally grew. Good job, daughter. You have this superpower too? From now on, Dad's stocks will depend on you. And so, the power of my mouth was recognized. At first, the people who came to me were all relatives. Sweetheart, can you help me figure out which of these 3 men will rise to power and wealth? My aunt from my father's hometown specially took a day-long train ride to my house just to have me help. I casually said that number 1 and number 3 were the ones. My father immediately stood up and chose number 2. Less than 2 months later, my aunt arranged a marriage for her daughter. On the day of the engagement, my brother-in-law's promotion was also announced. Soon, everyone in the 10-mile radius knew that my father's daughter had the gift of foresight. I am a student still in school, who found a part-time job on my own. Isn't that a bit too amazing? As my mouth increasingly suffered from frequent illnesses, I also became quite famous in school. Before the final exam, the school organized a red music singing competition. The head of the department, in despair as he listened to us sing sounding like pigs being slaughtered, said, "This is not singing Silver Hair, it's not mourning either. If you sing like this, you're definitely going to be last." Suddenly, he stared at me with a bright gaze. "Xiao Xiao, tell me, where do you think our department will place in the red music competition?" I blurted out, 1 2 3 4 567 654,321. The department head scoffed, "You're just missing the number 8, and you'd have said the whole sequence. This shaman title of yours is truly wasted." I smiled awkwardly. "Sir, what I mean is that our department will come in 8th place. I didn't express myself very well. On the day of the competition, our department indeed finished in 8th place. My mouth didn't deceive me. From that day on, whenever he saw me, my homeroom teacher would avoid walking down the same path. I knew clearly he was trying to avoid me. My intuition told me something was off with him. Sure enough, that very evening, the school leadership changed. My old homeroom teacher was dismissed for accepting bribes. "Xiao Xiao, did you hear? The school is focusing on finding his accomplices." I shook my head vigorously. "I don't know." "Don't ask me. It's pointless to ask. God knows I just wanted to peacefully study and later contribute to the country." But before long, the school leadership requested to meet with me. Reluctantly, I gritted my teeth and went. "Xiao Xiao, I heard you can predict the future by reading palms." I looked into the mirror of the principal's square glasses, seeing myself sitting upright. "That's correct, but you need to ask the right question." Before he could frown, I seriously explained, "Which means if you ask me where the sun rises, I would say in the west, but in reality, it would be the east." Seeing his expression, it was clear that he was under a lot of pressure, otherwise, he wouldn't waste his time arguing with me. The principal adjusted his glasses, his eyes locked on me without blinking. The former head of the computer science department never interacted with anyone secretly. This question made even my mouth pause for a moment to think. My mouth blurted out, "Vice Principal Lee." As soon as I said it, I quickly covered my mouth. "Mouth, you can eat nonsense, but you shouldn't speak nonsense." Vice Principal Lee was standing just outside the door. The principal immediately called Vice Principal Lee in and then slapped him across the face. "I've had my suspicions about you for a long time, and you nearly tricked me. Turns out, you really are the one. Now I will report and deal with you according to the rules." Vice Principal Lee was terrified, his face ashen, and he pointed at me with wide eyes. "Principal, you can't possibly believe what this girl says, can you? Who's the shaman? Who said that?" Vice Principal Lee turned back to me with a pale face. "Tell me, where did I hide the dirty money?" My mouth, after all, was not in his son's diaper. As soon as the words left my mouth, I was surprised myself. Is my mouth leveling up? It's even starting to reason on its own. Then, the principal actually found a bank card with millions of dollars inside the diaper of Vice Principal Lee's son. My reputation spread even further. After my mouth upgraded, it became even easier to control. To prevent me from leaking the exam questions before the exam, the school specially transferred me to a VIP room. Even meals are delivered right to my door. My life couldn't be more comfortable. However, on the night before the exam, an unexpected anxiety hit me. I hadn't studied much this semester. If I don't do well on the exam, doesn't that mean I'll have to retake the course? A sudden feeling flashed in my mind. It'll be fine, I have my mouth, I thought to myself. I sat by the door, watching the dormitory manager bring dinner. I quickly ran out and said, "Excuse me, could you ask me something? What will the exam be about tomorrow?" The manager gave a smirk. "Is the school really locking up a fool in here?" I quickly pulled out a Mao Zedong bill. The manager immediately complied. "Tomorrow's exam? No need to worry about the questions." I immediately recited some of Mao's quotes: 7, 8, 12, 14, 17, 19, 21, 24, 25, 32. What kind of ideology is this with questions 11, 13, 14, 17, 28, 29, 31, and 32? My mouth spoke too quickly. "Teacher, could you please repeat that? This time, make sure to record it." The manager again curled the corner of her mouth, her face clearly showing that money could solve everything. This time, I'm more at ease. Following what my mouth had said, I studied until midnight. The next day, as soon as I saw the exam paper, I knew I had already secured victory. On the way home, my father asked with a smile, "How did you do on the exam, daughter? I'm sure there won't be any problems." "Oh. What makes you so confident?" "My mouth." I grinned widely. When we got home, my parents decided to test me. My mother asked, "Where did I go today? What did I do?" My mouth, after all, didn't go to Grandma's house, didn't go shopping at Sam's Club, nor did it get its nails done at the salon across from the supermarket. Oh right, there's no one pretending to be a relative to borrow money from Mom. My mom gasped, "Are you spying on me? Let Dad sit in your spot. Tell me, how many times did Dad go to the bathroom today?" I smirked slightly. "Well, it wasn't 7 times. My dad is tall." I continued, "During that time, Dad didn't leave the room, nor did he run to the kitchen shirtless to get toilet paper. Dad is determined to try again tomorrow and see what the weather is like." I said, "Anyway, it's not a sandstorm." My mom opened her phone to check. "Tomorrow will be clear with no clouds." At that moment, the live news broadcast on TV announced to all residents, "Tomorrow, a major sandstorm will hit the province. Elderly, frail, or small individuals should stay home and rest, avoid going outside to prevent harm." My parents exchanged a smile, realizing that this good news was happening right in their own home. One weekend afternoon, my mother cooked a pot of rice with pork ribs and fermented tofu, and told me to bring it to my father. When I arrived, my father was in a meeting. The room was filled with police officers, all sitting around a computer with serious expressions. It didn't take long before someone sighed in frustration. Clearly, this scene was calling for me. Excited, I turned around and walked into the meeting room. "Xiao Xiao, why did you come here?" My father didn't look up, but with one hand, he pulled out a chair for me to sit down. "Dad, what's everyone worried about? Maybe my mouth can help," I said, winking at him. He had been frowning, but immediately his face lit up, and he stood up, returning to his seat while waving his hand for me to come over. "Captain Xiao, the whole team couldn't find any clues. Why did you bring this girl here to mess things up? Vice Captain Yen laughed and looked at me. Xiao Xiao, go play with Sister Song. Don't underestimate our Xiao Xiao. My dad said, then spread out a pile of photos. Xiao Xiao, take a good look. These are suspicious locations where the fugitive might be hiding. We need to find him within 12 hours. Before I could think, my mouth automatically spoke. All these places are possible. My dad immediately pointed to the one location I hadn't picked and sternly shouted. Everyone, move out. Vice Captain Yen looked at me with concern. Xiao, are you sure? I grinned and said. Absolutely. My mouth has been enlightened, I've never been wrong. After my dad led the team out, I decided to stay at the station and wait for him. Sure enough, when I was halfway through my third short nap, my dad returned with the criminal. Xiao Xiao, you're really something. This is the most notorious criminal in the city. Without you guiding us, who knows how long it would have taken to catch him. I smiled smugly. I'm not boasting, but my mouth could lead an entire army. Dangerous criminals? No big deal. Even international criminals aren't a problem. Yeah. To be honest, I have this ability. I guess I should find something to do to contribute to the country, right? My father was just awarded a recognition, and along with that came the decision to appoint me. Although my father wrote a lengthy report describing my abilities, Director Zhao still decided to meet with me in person to see if my skills were truly as impressive as they were made out to be. This was my first time entering the director's office, and saying I wasn't nervous would be a lie. Director Zhao seemed quite amiable, but his eyes were sharp, like a moving lie detector. Please, sit down, don't be so tense, Director Zhao said politely, nodding. You are Xiao's daughter, and you have the ability to read fortunes, right? I nodded, but then I added, Lao Xiao is my father. After saying that, both Director Zhao and I froze for a moment. I'm sorry, Director Zhao, I meant Lao Xiao is indeed my father, but I am his daughter, I said, flustered, speaking too quickly. Director Zhao gave a slight smile. Have you studied fortune-telling or face reading? I shook my head, but my mouth said, I have studied. I couldn't help but laugh and cry, no, I've never studied. I just have a mouth that always says the wrong things, so I end up having to reverse them. The director nodded, his face expressionless, but his eyes were filled with doubt. Xiao Xiao, guess how old I am this year? I immediately spoke, as he was clearly not 47 years old, he looked older than his actual age. As soon as the words left my mouth, I felt several crows fly past my head, cawing loudly. Director, actually, I was complimenting you, because I was speaking in reverse. Mouth, if you don't know how to give a compliment, just don't say anything at all. It's better not to compliment than to do it this way. The director waved his hand to interrupt. When did I join the criminal police team? He then pushed a piece of paper filled with numbers toward me. I blurted out. All of them are correct. Haha, none of the numbers are correct. You thought you could fool me? What you're saying is that all the numbers on the paper are wrong. Did I misremember something? The director replied. This is the list of criminals arrested the year I joined the team. Try guessing who I personally apprehended. Finally, he added. 15 years ago, not even the direction of the file storage room's door was clearly remembered. This is your chance to prove yourself. I held the stack of documents he handed me, and my mouth uttered. 2,681, 3,245, 7,683. Is it just these people? Except for them, everyone else was personally captured by you. The director, both astonished and trusting, nodded. Good, you're really talented. Then, the director continued to ask me a few questions. Up until today, how many cases have been solved in the city? Among the first female police officers with firearms in the city, who is still on the team? By the end of the month, will all the kidnapped children be found? I answered each question in turn. The director stood up, and in the vast office, only the sound of his footsteps echoed as he walked back and forth. He seemed very excited, walking hurriedly. I knew my words had once again won someone over. With a look of eagerness, the director asked me the final question. Guess what I plan to assign you to? My mouth clearly knew it wasn't about the kidnapped children case. Ah, so you're planning to involve me in the child kidnapping investigation. The director called his subordinate, instructing them to come lead me. Before I left, he patted me on the shoulder with high expectations. Xiao Xiao, make sure to make the best use of your abilities. His voice could not hide his excitement. I nodded solemnly. A handsome man, standing at 1.85 meters tall, came to pick me up. He was strikingly good-looking. I am not someone with an ordinary appearance, but at this moment, I can't help but secretly admire him. He is really handsome, truly too handsome. Hello, Comrade Xiao Xiao, I am Zhao Chong, your assistant and bodyguard. Zhao Chong extended his long, beautiful hands. I will assist you with the next task. I stuttered. Hello. As soon as I spoke, I wanted to take my words back. Is this still my usual, quick-talking mouth? Why has it become like this now? Clearly, I was knocked off my feet by his looks. Comrade Xiao Xiao, it's an urgent case. Let's discuss it in the car. Zhao Chong waved his hand, signaling for me to get in. I embarrassedly stepped into the car. Oh, right, this is a Hongqi. So far, in this month alone, 23 children have been kidnapped, the youngest only 8 months old, and the oldest not yet 5 years old. The situation is very serious, and the province has issued 3 investigation orders. Families with young children in the city are living in fear, their worries hanging over them like a dark cloud. Comrade Xiao Xiao hopes that her involvement can help clarify the case. I nodded, thinking that once the case was solved, I would definitely treat myself to a big meal. After all, if the case was solved, the greatest credit would go to my mouth. We quickly returned to the team and met with the team leader in charge of the special task force, Team Leader Cheng. Hello, Team Leader Cheng, we've been assigned to assist with the investigation. I'm Zhao Chong, and this is Comrade Xiao Xiao. Team Leader Cheng simply tilted his head slightly, acknowledging us with a gesture. Everyone immediately set off to conduct a thorough search, determined to find Yuan, who had gone missing this morning. Who's confident? I shouted. Me. All eyes were suddenly on me, and I was so startled that I quickly took a step back. Sorry, I misspoke. It seems like no one on the team has any confidence at all. This feeling is like a swarm of flies flying around aimlessly without any direction. 10 minutes after the start, Comrade Xiao Xiao, have you discovered something? Zhao Chong looked at me flipping through the documents with a serious expression, probably thinking I had figured something out. In fact, I was just looking for something to do. As for my mouth, it had never been something I had to worry about. Suddenly, my mouth said, the other kids have a problem. Zhao Chang's eyes lit up, and she seemed to think I was talking about Yuan. Is that right? Yes. Zhao Chong, how did you know? Director Su Zhao has told me about you. Comrade Xiao Xiao, can you explain further? My mouth responded, I can't. Mouth, are you still trying to claim the right to answer at this point? Zhao Chong, ask again. I'm looking forward to hearing you. Zhao Chong looked at me with high expectations, and finally, what's wrong with Yuan? My mouth shouted out loudly. Yuan has really been kidnapped, and her parents are the victims. As soon as I finished speaking, everyone was stunned. How can there be both real and fake kidnappings? Both Zhao Chong and I saw the expression of realization in each other's eyes. If my mouth had spoken the opposite, it would mean that Yuan's parents were the ones behind the kidnapping. Zhao Chong quickly stopped Captain Ching. Prepare to depart. At first, Captain Ching showed clear signs of displeasure, his gaze towards me full of discomfort. I don't know what Zhao Chong said, but Captain Ching suddenly became excited and shouted. Is that really the case? Captain Ching, in a state of agitation, quickly walked towards me. Comrade Xiao, are you absolutely sure? I've heard this sentence no less than 108 times. Of course. Captain Ching, please act quickly. Captain Ching was someone who acted swiftly, immediately arranging to contact Yuan's parents, informing them that the suspect had been captured and inviting them to come and identify him. Before long, the two guilty individuals, Yuan's parents, came forward on their own. Captain Ching immediately arrested them. However, even though they had been captured, they still stubbornly refused to admit their guilt. And the biggest question still remained, where are the 23 kidnapped children? Captain Ching kept his eyes fixed on the map, certain that they were still within the city. Since receiving the report about the abduction earlier this month, all the highways leading to the outskirts had been thoroughly checked. They couldn't have left this area. Zhao Chong glanced at Captain Ching, then turned to me, Comrade Xiao, let's begin. I nodded and stared intently at the map. Were the kidnapped children hidden here? My mouth involuntarily spoke, yes, it's here. But clearly, it's not here. Zhao Chong didn't lose heart, moving his hand to another spot. We've tried more than 10 times. Finally, I spoke again, no, it's not here. Then it must be here, Zhao Chong immediately reported to Captain Ching. Soon enough, all 23 kidnapped children were safely brought back. Among them was a 2-year-old boy running a high fever, but fortunately, he was treated in time. Otherwise, no one could have predicted what would have happened if the delay had continued. Looking at the tears, happiness, and emotions of the parents reunited with their children, I am overwhelmed with feelings. Reuniting family members for each household is truly a meaningful act, bringing immense merit. Hey, I'm so proud of you. That night, Captain Ching personally paid for the entire team's celebration dinner. Comrade Xiao, feel free to order anything you want. Captain Ching waved his hand, you did a great job with this, even though it's so much, I'm still benefiting from it. Zhao Chong quickly handed me the menu. Xiao, is there anything you don't like? A perfectly phrased question. Truly worthy of being one of mine, my mouth excitedly opened and closed again. Every dish on the menu was so tempting. Everyone burst out laughing. Zhao Chong winked at me, as if he were saying, see? I asked them just what you would. Xiao, you must be really hungry by now, right? Captain Ching said warmly as he poured me a drink, and I didn't hold back. What others don't know is that while my mouth may do its job, it also burns a lot of energy. Captain Ching smiled brightly, tearing off a chicken leg and handing it to me. On the way back, Zhao Chong received a phone call. Xiao, the plan has changed. We need to head to County B tonight. What? Another child has been kidnapped? As if reading my thoughts, Zhao Cheng said, "Xiao Xiao, Captain Jiang over there needs you. We need to go quickly to offer support." Which Captain Jiang? Not the narcotics task force, is it? Yes, that's right. This is the operation codenamed Breaking the Fish. I couldn't stay seated and slid right off my chair. Why is my career advancing so quickly? Now I have to head to the front lines too. Captain Jiang of the drug enforcement team looked even younger than Captain Ching. The scar that stretched from his forehead to his eyebrow made it seem like he had many stories behind him. We met in an abandoned rented house. "Zhao Cheng, this is Comrade Xiao Xiao, right? In a little while, everything will depend on her," Captain Jiang spoke quickly, then turned to tell someone else to present the situation. Why didn't he check me first? I couldn't help but wonder. Captain Ching was personally recommended by Captain Jiang, Zhao Cheng briefly explained. The two of them have gone through life and death situations together, so of course, they have a deep bond. You need to understand that in the anti-drug team, they live in constant life-threatening danger, and it's not easy to accept outsiders. So it's not because of my reputation, but because someone vouched for me. We received a tip-off that a drug transaction would take place here. A man named Chinshin said, pointing to the abandoned factory complex ahead, that the drug dealers are very cunning, and they expose several different locations. Since we have people inside, we can't act recklessly. If we strike wrongly, it would not only cause casualties, but also put the informant in danger. Captain Jiang was indeed a dedicated leader on the front lines, and those under his command were no amateurs. A few words from him had already clarified the situation. Zhao Cheng and I surveyed the terrain. The 4 factories, each standing 20 meters tall, were spaced thousands of meters apart. If we chose the wrong one, there would definitely be no time to return. "Comrade Xiao Xiao, let's begin. My life and the lives of the team members all depend on you." Captain Jiang nodded at me. "May I ask, which factory are the drug dealers conducting their transactions in?" Truly a strong-willed person right from the start, he entrusted his life to me. With just one sentence, he stirred something deep inside me, a rush of adrenaline. I replied, "Factory 1, 3B. That clearly meant the drug dealers had chosen Factory 2. "All right, now check the watch." 3 minutes later, Chinshin interrupted, "Captain Jiang, this is too careless. The job that places life and death as a top priority, and you let a little girl with a milk breath make the decisions? Do you not value us, your comrades? Who are you talking about? Have you ever seen a shaman who is both young and beautiful like me? I am the heir of Marxism-Leninism, a child of true materialism. But that's not quite right. When it comes to volunteering for the front line, Captain Jiang should have been the one to take the lead. Why does it feel like Chinshin's words are aimed at Captain Jiang? Chinshin, if you disagree, leave the team immediately. Is there anyone else who disagrees? Captain Jiang gave each person a cold glance. Everyone spoke in unison. We follow Captain Jiang. All right. 1 minute, then we move. The mission has failed. The operation to break the fish failed, and we almost blew ourselves up. From start to finish, no one entered factory number 2. There were no drug dealers, no transactions, and no information suppliers. For the first time, I began to doubt my own mouth. How could there be a mistake at such a critical moment? Could it be that I used it too much and now it's ineffective? Zhao Cheng, this time you're more serious than ever. I believe in you. My face grew a little hot. That's not it. What I meant was, you should ask my mouth what happened. Zhao Cheng's ears suddenly turned red. Comrade Xiao Xiao, why did the mission fail? My mouth responded, there's no particular reason. Well, I think you should ask again in a different way. Zhao Chong thought for a moment, scratching his chin. So, whose fault is it that the mission failed this time? My mouth blurted out, anyway, it's not Qinshin's fault. Both of us were taken aback. Why does this involve Qinshin? Is he the mole? I replied, no. If I've said it this way, then Qinshin must be the mole. We need to inform Captain Jiang immediately. Zhao Chong hurriedly called Captain Jiang. After 2 attempts with no answer, someone finally picked up the phone. Captain Jiang is in a meeting, he doesn't have time to chat with you. Qinshin's voice came through, Zhao Chong, if you have time, go take care of your shaman. Don't let her give orders recklessly, in the end, she'll only harm others and herself. I was in a panic, running urgently with Zhao Chong to the police station, just in time to meet Captain Jiang who was preparing to leave. Captain Jiang, Captain Jiang. I waved my hand through the car window. Captain Jiang walked over, his steps cautious. Captain Jiang, I said briefly. Captain Jiang gave me a glance before nonchalantly walking away, and I followed right behind him. Isn't that Qinshin? I wondered. Shaman, are you here to cause trouble again? Qinshin made a challenging gesture at me. That bastard, he's an undercover agent and still dares to act so arrogant? Just wait, I will bring you down. Zhao Chong, do you think Captain Jiang still believes in me? I asked as we sat in the car, immersed in silence. We sat in the car for 5 or 6 hours until Captain Jiang returned. After everyone had dispersed, Captain Jiang lit a cigarette. I kept wondering why Qinshin had become so smug. It turned out he had climbed higher. Comrade Xiao Xiao, I have never doubted your abilities, but right now we can't afford to let him suspect us. Since the last mission failed, the informant must focus on protecting themselves, and we are left with no information about the enemy. If we want to turn the situation around, we can only rely on you now, Captain Jiang said seriously. I understand. Go ahead, you'll have to rely on my own mouth, I replied. Comrade Xiao Xiao, do you think the drug dealers will continue to deal in the near future? Captain Jiang asked. I answered. No. Zhao Chong wiped his sweat, and it was clear that a deal was definitely happening. Captain Jiang didn't blink. Is it tomorrow, the day after, or 3 days from now, or even later? I replied, 3 days from now or later. Then it's tomorrow or the day after, Captain Jiang continued to ask, tomorrow or the day after? I blurted out, definitely the day after. Zhao Chong excitedly added, where and at what time? I answered again, of course, it's not the same location as last time, nor the same time as last time. Then it's exactly the same location and the same time as last time, Captain Jiang said with a look of frustration. Why didn't you ask sooner? Now I've had to put in so much effort. Zhao Chong and I exchanged glances and laughed. Sure enough, Captain Jiang immediately succeeded in breaking up the drug ring in a single raid. Qinshin not only got shot by the drug dealers in anger but also had to face a subpoena from the court. That evening, Captain Jiang suddenly came up with an idea and asked me to check if there were any remaining undercover agents in the anti-drug unit. Who would have thought that this time I would discover that 3 or 4 of the so-called heroes, who I thought were on our side, turned out to be undercover agents. It's not hard to understand why previous anti-drug operations encountered so many difficulties, as the whole team had to risk their lives in nearly every mission. Captain Jiang, thanks to his swift dismantling of the drug ring and his discovery of a series of undercover agents, was immediately praised and rewarded by the leadership. Even I received a commendation flag. My father would look at the living room, which was filled with more and more commendation flags, and sigh with admiration. Thinking back, he had spent many years in life or death situations, yet he couldn't compare to me. Just by having a mouth, I managed to do several months of work and received multiple accolades. It truly made him feel off balance. I laughed and comforted him. My achievements are also yours, Dad. Without you, there would be no me. What I actually meant was, without my mouth, there would be no me. After this incident, I became even more confident in the power of my words. I became famous throughout the criminal police team, and different departments vied to have me. For example, when I was quietly sitting in the RNI office, someone came to find me with a difficult case. There was no other choice. My office was arranged in the most visible spot. So, I set up a temporary office right next to the reception desk. But gold shines everywhere. No matter how simple my office was, I still enjoyed the highest level of transportation and the best food. Even Captain Jiang occasionally asked if I was related to the person who provided food in the cafeteria. I lowered my gaze to my bowl of rice, almost half of it filled with braised meat and pork knuckles and sauce, accompanied by half a bowl of white rice. I have to say, Captain Jiang's guess wasn't without reason. As for Zhao Chong, after every meal when I was stuffed as if a storm had passed through me, he always brought me a steaming cup of bubble tea. "Is it good, Xiao Xiao?" My mouth blurted out. I could die happy right now. Zhao Chang's ears turned bright red. The truth is, the bubble tea was so sweet it reached my heart. Just when I thought everything would continue like this, a transfer order came down from above. They instructed me to report to the provincial office. Ah, so they want to promote me, huh? Specialist Xiao, the provincial car is here to pick you up. Do you need help with your luggage? A tall guy I had never met before knocked on the door. Who are you calling a specialist? I looked around the room, but there was no one else but me. Could he be calling me? No need, just go about your own business. I can handle it for Specialist Xiao. Zhao Chong waved at me from the doorway. Xiao Xiao, have you finished packing? I immediately responded. It's still early, why hurry? I quickly covered my mouth. Oh, mouth, even though you've done a great job, you don't have to handle everything on your own. Can you just leave Zhao Chong here for me? Actually, there wasn't much to it. I felt embarrassed for bothering him to see me off. My face started to flush again. It's fine, Xiao Xiao, I'm on my way anyway. What? You're going to the provincial department too? I excitedly grabbed Zhao Chang's hand. Yes, Xiao Xiao, I'm your assistant and personal bodyguard, it's wonderful. That's great! Otherwise, I'd have to find someone else to ask about things. You know, explaining things is too troublesome. At the provincial department, Minister Liu quickly met with me. After a few tests, he acknowledged my abilities. Comrade Xiao Xiao, I want you to stay at the organization department to help me select talents, so we can place the right people in the right positions, maximize their potential, and help them shine. I nodded. Isn't this the job of a senior HR specialist? The benefits at the provincial office are no joke. Even the office is furnished entirely with redwood, fully equipped with air conditioning and a humidifier. Outside the door, there are two tall, handsome guys standing guard, and they say they're here to protect me. Their appearance is truly outstanding, anyone would be proud to showcase them. And they match my type perfectly, like sweet little wolves. Xiao Xiao, are you adjusting to the new environment? What are you looking at? I quickly responded, definitely not those two tall guys outside. Oh, no. It's just that I'm new, and everything seems unfamiliar to me. I blushed and waved my hand. Zhao Chong gave a dark look and cleared his throat twice. The mission's here, Specialist Xiao, focus. I flipped through the file in front of me, asked a few more questions, then gestured to Zhao Chong. Your turn to ask now. Comrade Xiao, given your 30th rank, which department should you be assigned to? I answered, well, it's not like I have to do cleaning duty. Zhao Chong immediately followed up, all right, Comrade 30 will be assigned to the logistics department. The girl opposite stared wide-eyed, is that not enough? I came here to apply for a position in the organization department, why am I being assigned to logistics? Are you all treating me like I have no backing and can do whatever you want? I calmly responded, sister, your nails are more delicately painted than my wall art. Your wavy curls follow the same radius of the curl. You must be here to find a job, not a boyfriend, right? I didn't show any expression, just waved my hand. Next. Zhao Chong added, sorry, the logistics room can't even accommodate you. You can leave now. Sometimes, people envy my smooth career advancement. But unfortunately, the people I choose for important positions are all top-tier talents worth twice as much as ordinary ones. Under my arrangement, all departments run efficiently and in order. Even Minister Liu, who rarely praises anyone, smiled, patted my shoulder, and repeatedly said, good, good, good. However, just as I had gotten comfortable in my new position at the provincial office, an order came from the Chinese Academy of Sciences. So, am I supposed to go to Beijing? Oh my God, could it be that I'm about to become a scientist? Fortunately, despite the constant changes in transportation, housing, and environment, Zhao Chong remained by my side. This time, I had a question. Zhao Chong, why do you keep following me? Is it an order from above? Do you not like it? Or are you still thinking about those two tall guys? What's going on? Zhao Chong still remembers that incident from so long ago. Could he be jealous? I thought that when I got to the Chinese Academy of Sciences, I would finally be able to focus on my own work. But instead, I ended up becoming the central air conditioner for everyone. Today, Professor Chiao from the Department of Chemistry came to discuss with me the discovery of a new element. Tomorrow, Professor Li from the Department of Biology will ask me about the ideal environment for gene mutations. A few days later, the head of the Geography Department, Mr. Yuan, will come asking me to identify the origin of a fallen meteorite. This made it impossible for me to focus on my own research, as I was constantly busy helping others. Yet, the titles kept coming: The Guide of 21st Century Chemistry History, The Mother of Celestial Meteorites, and The Decoder of Biological Signals. Oh my God, with so many titles on my shoulders, who would dare to pursue me now? Am I destined to become a deathly celibate? Even every time I video call my parents, they won't stop bringing up finding a lover and getting married. Xiao, don't climb any higher. How can your parents find someone at your level now? I forced a smile. It's not that I want to climb this high. At the end of September, the head of the Geography Department, Mr. Yuan, revealed to me that I had been nominated for this year's Nobel Prize. My lips trembled. Can I decline? Is it still possible to turn it down? Xiao, you're being too modest. Don't worry, you'll definitely be chosen. Look, the more you speak, the more motivated you seem. Well, if not this year, there's always next year. Hey Xiao, what's wrong? Sorry, I'm feeling a little dizzy. Am I still competing for the Nobel Prize? I've already stood on the shoulders of giants. How can I get married now? Is it possible that the Xiao family line, which has lasted for 3 generations, ends with me? My worries eventually came true. On the award stage, I trembled as I stepped up. From this moment, I was at the pinnacle of my life. I sighed, perhaps from now on, I would be a solitary person. In front of millions of gazes, I won the Nobel Prize, the most prestigious award in the world. My heart is filled with sorrow, yet I must still appear radiant in front of others. Do I really have to dedicate my entire life to science and live a lifetime of solitude? As I stepped down from the stage after receiving my award, Zhao Cheng stood amidst the crowd, smiling and stretching out his arms. Xiao Xiao, will you agree to dedicate your youth to the prosperity of the nation with me? I am willing to walk with you on this journey, to light the way for you. Marry me, Xiao Xiao. With that, Zhao Cheng seemed to pull a bouquet of flowers out of thin air and walked towards me. Amidst the congratulations of the crowd, I laughed loudly and accepted the bouquet from Zhao Cheng. In one day, I had both love and career. What a blissful thing it was. However, the trouble arose when Zhao Cheng asked me a question. Do you love me, or do you love the country more? Without thinking, I blurted out. I love your ass. And so, this incident made me embarrassed, and for days, I couldn't face anyone. Honestly, I was also quite worried about meeting his family. After all, with my collection of titles, what mother-in-law would want a daughter-in-law who would make her son obey her every command? Indeed, Zhao Cheng's parents forced me to choose between my job and Zhao Cheng. I firmly chose my job. Heaven knows my mother almost jumped off the building out of anger, but the turning point came the following day. Zhao Cheng's parents personally came to my house to ask for marriage. My parents agreed immediately. Thus, the marriage was decided quickly. I hadn't even had time to understand what was happening. Why are Zhao Cheng's parents so easy to talk to? On the day of the tea ceremony, I finally learned the truth. It turned out that Zhao Cheng's father was none other than Director Zhao. No wonder he asked me that question earlier. He saw it as a test. To see if I would choose the small thing over the big one, in which case he wouldn't have accepted me. My daughter and Zhao Cheng's daughter is named Zhao Ling. Her way of speaking started to show something special when she turned 12. Her mouth is truly unbelievable. My mouth only says things incorrectly, then I have to think carefully to figure out what's right. But Xiao Ling's mouth, on the other hand, speaks one thing correctly and the next thing incorrectly. If you can't remember whether the previous sentence was right or wrong, you won't know what she's talking about at all. For example, whose game console is in your bag? Ling replied, of course, it's not mine. So whose is it? Who else could it be except for her? Regarding this, Zhao Cheng has an explanation. He's sure that he has the potential to speak the truth. If not, how could it be passed down to your daughter? I just laughed. Hee hee. The end. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great stories.